Today's story proves that sometimes red flags don't show up until after you say, I do. This woman's been married to her husband for 3 months, and prior to tying the knot, he was the kindest, most caring person ever and never had a dark side. But over the last 30 days, he's been changing and not for the better. It all started on July 17th when the air conditioning broke down in 90-degree heat. She opened the windows in their house to survive the sweltering heat, but her husband stomped down the stairs, slammed the windows shut, and claimed that he could hear the TV from out in the yard. When she offered to turn it off, he argued that their neighbors could hear them and said she was not presenting a united front. He then left in a huff, spent the night in the home they're currently renovating, and they basically have 2 houses. So fast forward to this week. She has an upper respiratory infection, but she still spent the day helping him with the renovation. She picked up a vanity, stained stairs, and handed him tools. But when they came home, he went to his office to play video games, and she made him drinks. Just before midnight, she took cold medication as her doctor advised, turned off the lights, and went to bed next to her husband, who was still awake and scrolling on his phone. While they were in bed, her dog wandered into her husband's office, grabbed a bag of beef jerky he'd left in there, and brought it to her in bed. Now, her dog used to rip up everything in sight, so she taught him to bring her items instead for a reward. She gave him a small bit of jerky and put the rest on the table where he couldn't reach it. And then she went back to sleep. The dog then returned to the office and brought a bag of nuts her husband had left in there as well. And that is when her husband jumped up out of bed, turned on the lights, walked around to her side, opened up the bag of jerky, and dumped it all over her because he didn't agree with how she trained the dog. Having previously been in a very abusive relationship, she felt triggered and unsafe, so she went to sleep on the couch as her side of the bed was covered in food. Her husband followed her to the living room and attempted to drag her off the couch. She remained there, holding her ground as her therapist taught her to do, and kept repeating that he dumped food on her. He became enraged, tried to blame her, and claimed that she was wasting his snacks and making the dog fat. He then stormed out of the house, drove around for 14 minutes, and called her, telling her it was a joke, while demanding that she apologize and saying that she was breaking the sanctity of their marriage by talking to others after she suggested that they see a marriage counselor or at the very least the deacon who married them. She told him flat out that throwing food on people is considered assault and refused to apologize for removing herself from the situation. But now she's asking, is this normal and is she overreacting? So I want to hear from you. Is this man's behavior just stress from the house renovation, or is he showing his true colors now that they're married? Drop a comment below with what you think.